the top of the Empire State Building.
Z100, New York.
Hey, what's going on? It's Mo Bounce at Z100. So excited to welcome this guy to our studios. Armin van Buuren is here in the flesh.
What's up, guys?
Man, and I don't know, and please excuse me if you don't like this, but I'm going to say it anyway and test the waters. You're the OG when it comes. You're the dude that before there was EDM, there was EDM. You know what I mean? Like, no, I mean that to me that's like a good thing. It's like an honor to like have you in here because you started in the scene. Well, you were like super young anyway.
Yeah,
14, 15, well, I mean commercially a little older, but
my first success was in '97 with a track called Blue Fear on Sasha and Digweed's compilation, and then I started my radio show in 2001, State of Trance, every week. Been coming to the U.S. since 2001, like every other month.
Yeah, you're an OG.
Yeah.
I mean, because honestly, if you think about it now with electronic music or whatever you want to call it, it's not really a genre anymore. It's so broad now.
Exactly. Yeah.
It feels like every other day there's someone new, and there's a lot of great
Absolutely,
EDM artists out. I
agree.
mean, and everybody's kind of cultivated in their bedrooms, especially now with the YouTube age and everything else going on. But like, you were doing that before that. When you started then, and you see how it happens now, do you wish that you started now more, or are you glad on the come up that you had?
Oh, it's been a fantastic journey. Really, it's like you watch the mobile phone being invented. You know, it changed our lives. I mean, honestly, coming here in the U.S., I remember promoters picking me up, and they were stoked if you sold out a club for 800 people.
Yeah.
And now you play, they pick you up.
Now that's easy.
And now they pick you up and they say, look, oh, we got this festival you're playing at, and there's 80,000 people. It's just the numbers have gone up. And I got to say, though, I miss the clubbing days a little bit. I was really glad to be part of that, especially here in New York. But I also cities like Chicago. I had a residency at Vision, you know, playing the Roxy, playing, you know, all those clubs. Those are one of my favorite memories, you know. Crowbar, remember that?
Yeah, well, absolutely. That's the thing I was going to say. I mean, especially with DJs and producers and artists that are performing at these festivals, whatever. I mean, the amount of people at these things are insane. And sometimes people, not artists, but people that go to these shows forget that you guys all, for the most part, all started doing small clubs, like hoping that like a few hundred people would come and, you know, enjoy your sets.
It's funny you should touch upon that, because in many interviews, I always keep telling, like, when I started as a DJ, I could only dream, the highest thing I could reach was being a DJ at Rembrandt Square in Amsterdam. I don't know if you've ever been there, but it's
I've never been there, but it's a world famous spot. Obviously.
Yeah, it's a very famous spot, and you had the 2 or 3 of the hottest clubs: the Roxy, Escape, where they had Chemistry, and you had the It, and those were the 3 clubs. And it was completely
that was the epitome at that moment.
It was completely unthinkable that this law school student from Leiden in the Netherlands would be sitting here in New York talking 20 years later about his career.
Yeah.
It is really what it is. So I couldn't even dream of that because it didn't exist, you know? And it's kind of hard to imagine that. I mean, and it's been really exciting watching the boom of dance music grow. And, you know, also now I want to stress that I'm super excited and really inspired by the young guys that you're mentioning. I mean,
there's so many too. We almost can't even, we don't even have enough time to mention. There's hundreds. I mean, there's probably a smaller group that we could really talk about, but I mean, there's hundreds. And like we said before, there's so many people like daily. It's like, oh, who's this? Oh, wow, SoundCloud. We're like, it's like everything. It's like every day there's someone new. But at the time, you were that new person too. Yeah,
I mean, I was really glad that I had support from the guys that were big at the time, like, you know, like Sasha and Digweed and Oakenfold and you know, they were ruling the scene at the time.
Yep.
I remember Delta Heavy from Sasha and Digweed. That was a thing.
Yeah.
And Carl Cox is still a legend, obviously. And now I get to meet him. I get to talk to him. And I'm still in awe, you know, to talk to guys like that. Danny Tenaglia, Masters at Work. I mean, I know all their music front to back. And it's like, those guys inspired me. And it, you know, it's just, it humbles me to even think about that time. You know?
Well, that's how I've been in radio since 1998. So like, do the math. Anyway, so me being a young dude in '98, playing your stuff too.
Wow.
And I was like, so now this is the first time I'm meeting you. So it's like a full circle how life works. Like people that we look up to and the people that we respected are on. I was on the come up when you were kind of on the come up. Obviously, 2 different realms and 2 different spectrums and different, you know, everything.
Oh, you've done well for yourself. Congratulations.
Yeah, well, I mean, thank you very much. But I mean, you've done very well yourself. But it's great for someone like me to be like, wow, man, I get to talk to this guy. Like, just like you're speaking about the Oakenfolds of the world and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So fast forward now, we're in 2019, a State of Trance 2019.
Crazy.
Let's talk about the difference now with again, I keep having to go back a little bit because it's exciting to talk about from then to now with a lot of different things. But let's talk about then to now and this. 40, you have 40 original tracks on this one? Is it?
Yeah, a new compilation, is that what you mean?
Yeah. The new one, yeah.
Yes,
It came out.
There's 8 brand new singles on there. The current one, Phone Down, which is my new one with Gary Bay, which I'm really excited about. It's an annual compilation that I put out. It's 2 mixes that I do. One is called On the Beach, and one is called In the Club. So one is really for like when you're chilling with your friends, and the second one is for when you do your hair before you go to the club. You know, that's the idea.
I feel like nobody does that anymore.
Hair?
Like, no. Yeah, obviously, I'm wearing a hat. No, but like no one does that kind of like. People make music all the time, but they don't. Yeah. There's no like. Sometimes it lacks a theme, and sometimes with this music, and especially what you bring, you do this every year. But to have a theme with it, it like goes like. It's completely what you say. Like, hey, this one is really this type of feel, and this is this type. I mean, it literally feels like that.
I'm blessed with an amazing fan base, and these fans are really, really important to me. And I'm not really looking just at numbers of sales. For me, I just want to cater to my fans.
Yeah.
That's why I do the compilation so much. And also, it forces me to go through all this new music, so I'm better prepared than anybody. You know, doing a radio show, I'm sure you know.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that soon.
You're in touch with the music way more. So doing this compilation is really exciting because you get all these new music, and literally I get hundreds of tracks. And sometimes it's a little bit boring going through them, but then you'll always find this one gem that makes it all worth it. You know, you're like, wow, what is this track?
Do you reach out to them saying, hey, it's Armin, and
I
really
find
enjoyed your
tracks.
music?
I find tracks left and right. You know, I contact my favorite producers and say, look, I'm doing this big compilation. Can you send me some stuff? And then, you know, right now I'm working on the Ibiza one, for example.
Yeah.
I also do one more themed towards Ibiza.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I really enjoy doing those compilations. It's one of my favorite things to do, actually.
Did you ever reach out to somebody who was sending their music, and maybe they were in their bedroom doing everything, like, you know, on their computer, using probably the crappiest software, but they made something really amazing.
Yeah.
And then you reach out to them.
Absolutely.
And they say, you're a liar. This is not you.
It happens.
I mean, that's had to happen a few times.
Well, what I find sometimes, you know, you're only limited by your own imagination.
Yeah.
You can make, especially now, I mean, it's so easy to make something that sounds really good on a cheap laptop with, you know, people always think like, oh, should I have an expensive studio, or should I have this amount of plugins?
I don't think anybody started that way.
You don't.
It's rare.
You don't need that. All you need is a great idea, and you know, the biggest hits usually come from the smallest ideas, and they pop up and they work. You know, and people don't care if it's, you know, if the track works, it works, even if it's mono. You know,
if it invokes a feeling.
Exactly.
I think that's all that's
what
needed.
music is about.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk more about your radio show, A State of Trance. You've been doing this for how many years now?
Well, I started June 1st, 2001.
Yeah, that's a long time.
So we're now episode 914.
Yeah.
So it's been a really exciting journey. What I'm really proud of is that State of Trance still has the same formula as episode 1. It's very simple. It's the latest in trance and progressive in a 2-hour nonstop mix. That's what it is, and what it was, and that's what it still is. So if you are
if it
interested,
ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. If you listen to A State of Trance, you hear, you know, 70 to 80% of the tracks that matter in the scene at that point. Of course, I'm not perfect. Sometimes I miss out on tunes, but mostly I don't. Recently, I've started doing the live video stream as well. So rather than, like we're doing now. So rather than just doing the broadcast to the 100 FM stations, I'm also doing a video stream every week on YouTube, VK, Twitch, Facebook, everything. And that's because it's 2019. Everybody wants to see what's going on.
Well, go ahead, finish.
So what I do is I go to the studio. You know, mostly it's live. Sometimes it's pre-recorded because I'm on tour.
Sure.
But it's great because I have all these fans. They come to the studio. We invite them. I invite guests to the studio. You know, I've had some really, really big names, like Above and Beyond were there.
Yeah.
Ferry Corsten was there. They just come and play their new tracks, tell the story behind it. So for them, it's great promotion.
Well, they're just as passionate. I think that's just like you were talking about passion and doing things for your fans and just doing it because it's fun.
It's great to give trance music a platform. That's what I always dreamed of, you know. And it's not about just Armada music. It's not just about Armin van Buuren. It's about the sound, the trance sound that I've loved for all these years. So. And we've also made it a big thing, and we're one of the few radio shows that has this. We're available on your favorite streaming service like Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, you know.
iHeartRadio.
There we go. We're available there too. So I just want to be with my fans as close to the
wherever they are. You're there.
I want to be there. Yeah.
And well, that's the thing. So have you decided to call it yet a podcast? Because you're talking about 2019, and that's like the hot word.
Podcast. Well, radio show is a podcast.
Yeah, it could be. It can't. Listen, let's call it whatever you want to call it. At this
Exactly. But I take pride in the fact that a podcast is now a festival.
It really actually, I never heard someone say it. That's a good point.
So I started celebrating the round numbers of episodes.
Yeah.
800, 850, 750, 700, with my own festival, because there was a lot of demand for this music, and through my radio show, I had we created this platform. We started in Utrecht, which is a place in the Netherlands, right in the city center, or in the center of it. And there's really a great location called the Jaarbeurs. We created 5 different rooms, gigantic rooms. We sold 35,000 tickets. It was completely sold out.
That's
this
not
edition.
bad.
And I'm very proud to tell you that we're taking this festival concept around the world. And one of the big stops will be June 29th in the Oakland Coliseum in the Bay Area.
Ah.
So that's
well, see,
the big
people
thing.
from all over the world watch Z100 videos, so hopefully when they see this, and maybe they're in Oakland, maybe they're around, like, I got to get there.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's the biggest State of Trance we've ever done in North America. And yeah, I mean, the week before we're in Kiev in Ukraine, so it's like literally everywhere around the world, and this makes it so exciting because trance music. I know you know the scene a little bit, but there's something. It's not the most popular sound in electronic dance music right now, because that would be maybe dubstep or house or whatever.
Well, I feel that the genre is one thing, and the music, it's always been the same meaning, the same invoking of a feeling. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
If you want to get deep with it. But I think there's trends in the sounds.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, this sound, but it's always been dance music.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
that's kind of like the base anyway. And then you can go like 9,000 different genres deeper into that. But,
Well, if you look at trance specific, to go more deeper in what you just said, you see that it's no longer just one sound. You have progressive trance. You have psy trance. You have the Who's Afraid of 138 sound, which is more the uplifting stuff. You have you got more you even have a genre called orchestrance. It's like there's trance tracks with a massive orchestral breakdown.
Okay,
it's a whole genre. There's radio stations
playing it.
Yeah, playing nothing but that orchestrance.
Okay,
so I love to see that evolution of starting with just trance music, and now all these subgenres, and every subgenre, every artist has its own fan base, and to see that all come together. And I mean, honestly, I've seen a lot of communities. I mean, I'm a big techno head. I love to listen to techno. I love house music, but I don't see the vibe that we have on a State of Trance event, like that love, crying people, hands in the air, on other festivals. I mean, house music is maybe people are more dancing, more grooving, whatever.
More in the moment,
Yeah, but with trance, it's just all about the melodies. It's so emotional, and to share that with so many people and so many fans, it's really, really powerful. And every week I have an item in my show called Service for Dreamers. I invite a fan to the studio because we get hundreds of emails.
Yeah.
And we want to have the most touching stories. So I ask my fans, okay, so what track should I play, and why is it so important to you? And the most beautiful stories came from that item, because I played a track and then, somebody got married to the song.
And people don't always think of that when it comes to trance music.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think that's the last thing a lot of people that who just love all kinds of music think about trance music. But that's if something, if you're a music head, this is something you need to look more into when it comes to the feeling. Or some people could be listening to this right now or watching this and thinking about, maybe I need to get more into this, or I need to look more. I mean, discovering. It's all about discovering too.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which is great, because obviously you have the diehards and you have the trance heads, and it's like that's all that is in life. But this is also a great thing for people to discover. You talking about this, be like, wow, maybe I need to check this out more. So that's what's great about it also.
Well, the world, especially the events, it's just I mean, just watch a live stream one week if you can, and you see the interaction with the fans. I mean, they know everything.
Yeah, more than you sometimes.
And they're like, they're talking about every little detail. Armin's hair is like this, or he's wearing the same shirt as last week, or fans are now talking about that too. Which is, I'm like, I'm in it for the music. I don't care.
Yeah, but that's fun. It's almost funny for you, comical, to be like, oh, this is kind of cool though.
Yeah, because you're interacting with your fans.
Yeah,
and that's what I love about it. I mean, radio used to be a one-way street.
Oh my God, not anymore. You know,
not anymore.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it exciting. So I'm not perfect. Every time I do a radio show, there's
that's
always...
good that you're not perfect.
No,
that's good. You're a human being.
What I mean is that the fans educate me rather than I educate the fans.
Yes.
Because I play a track and I say, Tune of the Week, my favorite track, guys. You have to hear this.
Yeah.
And then I play it and I see the response going, it's okay.
You're like,
what?
Deflated.
And then the opposite happens as well. Like, oh, yeah, here's the new track by such and such. I'm not really sure about it, but I'm curious to see what you think.
And people go crazy.
Boom!
Yeah.
It goes crazy. So when I listen to the same track through the ears of my fans, it educates me.
That's awesome. You're a man of the people. I like this. No, this is good. This is. I'm so glad I got a chance to speak to you today and talk about your vision of how you see things now, especially in the way you interact with not only the people, your fans, but just dance music fans in general, and trance and EDM as a whole. And it's really, really cool. And so many things going on with you and all over the world.
Thank you.
Nonstop. Congratulations on all your success. You don't need me to say that. You're still going to keep going until whenever. But congratulations, Armin van Buuren.
Thanks so
here
much.
at Z100. Thank you, my man.
From the top of the Empire State Building.
Z100.